Look at your hands right now. Or rather, look at what is sitting inside them. If you are listening to this right now, chances are you've spent the last few hours promising yourself that you would start working, or begin studying, or finally fixing your life. Yet here you are. A heavy, familiar guilt sits in your chest. You tell yourself you are lazy, that you lack discipline, or simply don't want it bad enough. This paralysis is the intended result of a multi-billion-dollar machine. Your behavior is exactly what this system designed you to do. Self-blame is a highly profitable byproduct of this environment. To break free from the cycle, you first have to recognize the mechanics of the cage you are standing in. It starts with a seemingly innocent thought: checking notifications for 2 minutes. You unlock the screen, and your thumb begins its automatic movement. Up, down, scroll, refresh. 10 minutes turn into 40, and hours simply vanish into the dark. When you finally snap out of this trance, the weight of the wasted time creates a spike in anxiety. Because that discomfort is too high to face, your brain seeks immediate relief in the exact same device that caused the stress in the first place. As this loop repeats, you begin to define yourself by these lost hours. The label chronic procrastinator becomes a self-fulfilling narrative. You watch others achieve their goals and assume they possess a level of willpower you simply weren't born with. If you feel like your attention is no longer yours to control, your assessment is accurate. It has been hijacked by a biological system that was evolved for survival, but is now used to keep you stationary. Take a deep breath and set aside the guilt. Your brain is not broken. It is executing million-year-old survival programming within a highly artificial digital landscape. To understand why willpower fails, we have to look at the brain's reward center, specifically at a neurotransmitter called dopamine. While often called the chemical of pleasure, modern neuroscience shows us a different reality. As this timeline shows, dopamine is actually the molecule of anticipation. It is the chemical of wanting, not of having. It is the internal engine that drives search, curiosity, and movement. In nature, survival rewards were rare. If an ancestor found a bush of sweet berries, the brain released a spike of dopamine to create a neural memory of the location, ensuring they could find food again and survive. The mental fog and the constant urge to scroll are not failures of character. They are survival adaptations being triggered by an environment they weren't built for. Behavioral psychologists utilize a specific mechanism of this system known as variable reward feedback. If a reward is predictable, dopamine levels eventually flatten. But when a reward is given completely at random, dopamine spikes double. This uncertainty creates a psychological tension that the brain craves to resolve. When you pull down to refresh a feed, you are engaging the same primitive mechanism used in a slot machine. Because you don't know if the next scroll will bring an advertisement or an important message, your neurological system stays in a state of obsessive overdrive. You are chasing a ghost in an algorithmic machine. Biological willpower is an outmatched resource when pitted against a supercomputer engineered to exploit these specific evolutionary traits. Since willpower is a finite resource that drains throughout the day, escaping the loop requires changing the architecture of your environment. Principle 1 is to artificially increase friction. The brain naturally chooses the path of least resistance to conserve glucose. If your phone is within reach, the habit loop triggers before your conscious mind can intervene. You must design friction into your space. Move the device to another room, lock it in a drawer, or use grayscale mode to remove the engineered appeal of bright icons. Principle 2 is the 10-minute dopamine delay. When you feel the physical itch to pick up your phone, don't try to suppress it. Suppression creates internal tension that usually makes the craving stronger. Instead, negotiate with your brain. Permit the use of the phone, but only after a 10-minute wait. As this curve shows, dopamine spikes have a short life cycle if they aren't fed. After 10 minutes, the chemical urgency naturally subsides. This delay buys the prefrontal cortex the time it needs to override an automatic biological response. Principle 3 is microdosing cognitive boredom. By constantly reaching for a screen during every moment of downtime, we have conditioned our brains to lose their tolerance for low dopamine tasks like deep reading or problem solving. To fix this, practice small doses of boredom. For 5 minutes a day, sit quietly without a device. Walk without headphones. Starving the brain of hyperstimulation allows your dopamine receptors to recover their natural sensitivity. Principle 4 is identity re-anchoring. When you tell yourself, "I am lazy," your brain works to align your future actions with that statement to avoid internal conflict. You must change the narrative. When focus fails, shift the blame from your character to your environment. Acknowledge that the system around you was poorly designed for your goals. When you view yourself as an architect fixing a broken system rather than a broken human, the emotional resistance drops and consistent execution becomes peaceful. Consider an ancient model. Your primitive, emotional brain is a powerful horse, and your conscious mind is the rider. Trying to beat the horse into submission through guilt only leads to exhaustion. Your role is not to fight the horse, but to build a better stable where both can coexist. The next time you find yourself stuck behind a screen, remember that you weren't broken. You were playing a high-stakes game where the rules were hidden from you. These digital tools lose their influence once you are conscious of how they work. Put the device down, not out of anger and not out of lingering guilt, but because you have finally chosen to wake up.